Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Today I want to talk about something I've mentioned in several videos before, but I've never spent a full video on it, and that is a personal loan. Is it a good idea? Well, let's take a look at it. I use personal loans. I get one a year. And I use it for a specific purpose, and I have a certain guidelines that I use personally to protect myself. And here's what I mean. I get a personal loan of around $1,000 a year, $1,200, and I take that money and I put it into our ministry account, and then I let the ministry pay it back over time. And here's why I do that. It sounds silly, but our ministry doesn't make much money. I mean, maybe $100 a month. So I decided a while back that I would get the money up front and let the ministry use the cash flow to pay the loan off. And it achieves a couple of goals. First off, you get the money up front, and you can do whatever it is you want to do with the money. And the ministry pays it off with cash flow. Now, the guidelines that I use is I don't spend the money if I don't have to. I invest it. I let the ministry pay it off. And here's the key. And I got this idea from the Bible. The Bible says that the borrower becomes the slave to the lender. Well, I don't want to be a slave. I'm sorry. So if I get $1,000 personal loan, I make sure that I've got $1,000 in the bank to pay that off if something happens. And I've done that a couple of times. One time I had health issues, and so I just paid the loan off. I took the money out of savings, paid the loan off, and was done with it. And then when I got better, I went back and got another loan. But you also have to make sure that you can afford the payments. Now, so we fund our ministry with it. What else could you do for it? You could use it to pay down other debt. As an example, if you have a credit card bill that it seems like you're just not making any headway on it, and you want to knock that down, you can get a personal loan and pay a lot less interest from a bank or a credit union than you will pay to a credit card company. That'll put some money in your pocket, and it'll keep you from paying so much interest on your outstanding balance. Or another use you could use it for would be to invest. As an example, if you want to invest in the stock market, then you can get your personal loan for less than what you think you can make in the market, then it's a good idea. Or if you want to buy real estate, there's 1,000 things, as long as it doesn't cost you more than it is worth and you can afford the payments. And that is the key. Can you afford the payments? And here's a couple of things to remember. Always read the fine print. And the number one thing that you want to make sure that they don't box you in is there a prepayment penalty? Because if there is, shop around. Because that means that they're going to get all of that interest whether you keep the money or not. And there will be a penalty for that. So you have to make sure there's no prepayment penalty. Now, the next thing you want to think about is, can you justify the expense? Now, in the case of our ministry, there are expenses that our ministry has to have, and usually they're not cheap expenses. As an example, when I bought our lights for these videos, I bought way too many, by the way. I don't know what button I hit. I meant to spend 150, I spent 500. Oh, holy cow. Anyway, But we had the money, is my point. I could have shipped them back, and I probably should have. Like right now, I've got 6 lights. I've got one of them on. I got 5 lights around here I'm not using, but I've paid for. But anyway, so if you can justify the expense and you can afford it, then I think there is a case that can be made for a personal loan. And here's one caveat, and I've not done this. I mean, I did it when I was young, and this is how I know this. Do not get a personal loan from a finance company. Oh my goodness. That's worse than a credit card. Get one from a bank or a credit union, not a finance company. Okay, so the question that we have is a personal loan a good idea? And my conclusion is, it falls into the category of if you can qualify and get the personal loan, and if you can afford it, and you use it properly, I think they're a great tool. It's just like a hammer. A hammer is a great tool if you know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, you may as well not bother. So anyway, I think personal loans can be a good idea. I think the reason they get a bad rap is because people don't use them properly. They take it and pretend like it's just cash money that they can go spend. And if that's what you're thinking, then they're not a good idea. But if you have a specific purpose, you can afford it, you know how to use it, then I think a good case can be made for it. Well, that's all I wanted to say. You guys have a great day, a great week, and happy investing.